As expected, Bitcoin has come down towards 60,000. What's going to happen next? Well, let us see. Thank you for joining me on Simon's Trading Channel on this beautiful Welsh Saturday morning. Oh no, afternoon. Time flies. And yeah, thanks for joining me again for one of my daily Bitcoin price action analysis videos. Hope you're all well, enjoying your weekend. And on that note, let's get straight in with the price action. So this is the weekly chart, and I'm going back to basics a little bit with the indicators. Just got a MACD up here. But also you can see my blue lines. And these blue lines I've shown in a couple of videos just about my kind of ideas about what Bitcoin has been doing with regards to price jumps. And they very simply represent $15,000 moves. And you can kind of see from this $15,000, it's not perfect, but it's stretch the imagination. And so I completely appreciate that. Also, it's just an idea. But you can see if you take 15, 30, 45, 60 and 75, it just kind of match quite well to where the price goes to, with also the midpoint of those $15,000 ranges. So clearly $7,500 in between. So for example, here, the midpoint, as you can see, was significant with these wicks and this wick down. The midpoint of this one was clearly very significant because it demarcated, well, let's do it properly. It demarcated this wick low, these couple of highs, which were kind of a double top before a pullback, and then resolution to the upside. The midpoint of this one is this area here, and this so far wick low on the overall consolidation of Bitcoin. And then the 60,000, which is pretty much where Bitcoin is hovering around at the moment. So yeah, I just think they make nice ranges. The significance and usefulness with regards to trading, I'd say, is arguable, but I think they make nice ranges. And if indeed they are true, then the next one obviously will be 90,000. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, coming into where the MACD is on the weekly time frame, this is obviously on Bybit because CME closed last night at 62.9. Quickly show you, 62.9. So that's $2,000 above where the price is at the moment. Now that could be interesting depending on what happens over the weekend. So there could be another gap. Now, I say another gap because I think pretty much everyone, I need the CME chart back up, is looking probably towards this one now. I mentioned it on the way up, and I've started to mention it on the way back down. On the way up, I thought maybe it won't be filled, but gaps do most of the time get filled, not always, but most of the time. And you can see better on the daily time frame. So, you know, it's coming in somewhere between pretty much 61 and high 59s, but for closures, low 58s. So basically you can look for a target somewhere, or, well, I mean, you can do what you like, but if I'm looking at it as a potential target with continued downside, then you would just basically have this kind of area as a target, which would then hopefully lead to Bitcoin turning back up, confirming this as a local low, and then making a higher low within the gap. So that seems like a reasonable theory to me. On this daily, now I'm going to switch back to Bybit now. So you can see One of my blue lines is at basically 60,000. It's not quite, but I just couldn't get it any more accurate than that when I was drawing on the chart. And I think that's a significant area for daily closures. You know, the gap is a bit lower than that. But it'd be nice to see daily closures above 60,000. What you wouldn't want would be a weekly closure below 60,000. That would be rather negative. And so with Bybit having not long left on its weekly, how long? 1 day and 8 hours left on its closure. And obviously today, 8 hours. So, so I'd like to see, what would look good would be no daily closures below 60,000, where that blue line is. You can have wicks wherever you like, and maybe a few 4-hour candles. But I'd really like to see price fill. Well, I don't know if it'll happen over the weekend, but maybe come down a bit further, fill completely the CME gap, but not close a daily below that 60,000. I mean, it's not the end of the world if it does, but as long as it turns back up, but that would just look perfectly technical. And we'll see if that happens. Quick one on the 4-hour. Oh, I didn't talk about MACD. So the MACD will cross below. Now this will probably be a relatively accurate number because you can see the MACD is close to the 0 line. So it's got 58,000 as a cross below the 0 line, which is probably the bottom of the CME gap. But the thing is, yeah, 58,000. They are different because they do. Bybit doesn't trade at exactly the same price as CME, but there's definitely some confluence there. The bottom of the gap is 58,000, and as things stand, 58,000 would be daily momentum switching to the downside in the manner that I define it. So. So yeah, it's significant. So basically, I'd like to see Bitcoin at least defend 58,000 on the daily time frame. But to be honest, I prefer no daily closures below 60,000, and then a turn back up. The 4-hour, you can see momentum still to the downside. There's no divergence yet, and indeed, it needs to do a bit of work to even turn back up. So. Well, it's not quite $1,000 from where it is. It's basically setting itself up into a little range here, with the top at 62. So, yeah, if it can turn up from here, get the 4-hour MACD green again, and then start to close 4-hour candles and probably dailies, because that'll probably take us into early next week above 62,250. That would make this start to look like a low, rather than just continuation and downtrend. So some interesting things ahead, but Bitcoin's got to do some work to make this happen. Otherwise, it's more downside, and momentum on the 4-hour is to the downside. Momentum's not quite to the downside on the daily, but it's not going to take too much more. I'm going to leave it at that for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please like and subscribe. That'd be marvellous. And join me tomorrow for Sunday, when we'll see where Bybit looks like it's going to close its weekly time frame. Take it easy, enjoy your weekend. See you tomorrow.